I want to welcome our viewers to a special podcast, a really special podcast, because Tara is married to a golfer. So I tell you what, when you have somebody in the house that's a golfer, my passion for golf comes out. So, but we're going to have a good time today because I met Tara, I think last week. And when she told me what she did, my jaw dropped because I've been looking for somebody with her skill set. So we're going to bring our viewers a person that's going to share with you the challenge that a lot of people have. It's locating your mom or your dad, as they get older. The senior living, we're going to call her the senior living locator. So don't have to be challenged by that. Okay, enough talking. All right, so Tara, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into talking about it.
Okay, so my name is Tara Schramm. I own Assisted Living Locators, North Atlanta. I have worked as a nurse for 25 years in the area, and I've shifted gears to help seniors and families find resources, senior living options, just being an advocate for them and finding safe places for them to go on their next chapter.
Yeah, I tell you, when you hit that chapter in your life, and all my friends are hitting it, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're trying to figure it out, and we know nothing about it. So tell us why you got into this. I mean, what you were nursing, and then you've got into the business you're in there. What was the transition like, and why'd you do it?
Just to help those seniors. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and I want to be an advocate for them to find the best and safest places and not get taken advantage of. Help families understand what their options are, what's out there. Maybe assisted living is what you thought you needed, but maybe we can just get some home care that will help get you through the next couple years or whatnot if assisted living is not the right option. There's just a lot out there that people don't know about. So if you just reach out to me, I can help you digest that and figure out what the next step could be.
That's so needed out there. And I guess because I'm in that environment now, I see people struggling with that, what's that next chapter decision. And I always like education, but tell me, when did you think, when you married Greg, that he was a true golfer? Like, what was that? Was that like from the beginning, or did he surprise his passion for golf?
Oh, no. I knew his passion for golf from the get-go.
And you still married him?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were high school sweethearts.
Oh,
we met at 15.
Okay.
And I knew he liked golf then.
Right.
He golfed every Sunday with his dad.
Right.
And nothing changed when we got married. And then we eventually moved to a golf course community. He was smart to not choose the house on the golf course, because I would never see him.
Yes.
But it's a golf course community, and it's been a great place to live and raise our family and let them all golf.
Man, I tell you what, I'm every minute I get to know your story, I mean, it's just rock solid. Now, so I know you have some boys. Having them play golf, what was that like? Do all of them play? None of them play? One of them?
It's been a roller coaster with them.
Okay.
They were great golfers when they were younger, and then they get their independence and they want to do other things.
Yep.
But they've had their moments. But Greg and our baby have been really good golfers. They've had their, a lot of father-son tournaments and all that fun stuff. So it's been a great way for them to bond through the years. He's got the 3 boys, so he's got an instant foursome when he goes out on the golf course. So it's been kind of fun for them.
I'm actually kind of jealous because I had 2 girls, and I did my best to get them into golf, and I didn't succeed. Softball and lacrosse is where they ended up. So, when you tell me that boys, I mean, it's of course girls play golf, but it's like they don't see it around them as much. So they don't necessarily think like, oh, hey, I could play golf. I mean, they want their independence. I agree with that.
Mhm.
Now, my youngest now is playing more by virtue of Topgolf. I mean, she goes out, and her husband is an avid golfer, so he's out playing with his friends. And I told her, I said, Mary Rachel, you'll be with them more if you learn how to play golf. So
Yeah.
I think that's not, you don't have to be master at it,
Mhm.
but just like hang out and just go in the cart and just, it's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the locating, just to help our viewers really understand. So you're 20 some years into nursing. At that moment when you said, like, I'm going to make a career change, what was going through your mind?
It was just time to switch gears and be an advocate for people, use my knowledge to educate them and let them know what's out there and what to stay away from and what to look for in a good, reputable community. There's a lot out there right now. People are, there's a lot of people selling this as opposed to helping guide them through the process. So I'm trying to stand out and be a little different and not being the seller and just being the advocate, trying to educate and just give back to these seniors that have, aging is a process, but it's not something that has to be looked at taboo. You have to be able to enjoy those golden years.
Yes. And, making those decisions, like any decision, if you make a one that's uninformed and a bad decision, it's still a decision and you have to learn from it. So I'm guessing that when you come alongside people, you're educating them and you're helping them to know what's out there. Is that a lot of your, like, walk us through, like a person hears about you and they call you, walk us through for our viewers what that journey's like.
Sure. Usually a family will call and say they're thinking about, a place for their dad or whatnot. It's a process. It's a journey. It's not, something we're going to do over a weekend. We start a phone call. I get to know the family. I get to know the person, the senior that we're looking for, what their needs are and what their desires are, what their social like, if they like certain things. And then we kind of go from there. Of course, budget plays a part of it. But then I kind of start looking at the location that they want to be in and what they would like out of the community. And then I'll send the family a couple of ideas. But they're not going to get called by the communities. They're not going to get called by anybody or emails online. What you're using me and I'm the shield. I kind of guide you through that process. If they like the communities, I'll take them on a tour or we can schedule a lunch so you can try the food because I know that's important also. And then we just look at the different options. They kind of see what they like, what they don't like, if they like the location, if they didn't like, the rooms that are available, but it's definitely a process. A lot of places have waiting lists right now. There's, a lot out there, but if someone wants something specific, like a room with a view or a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, some of those places are harder to find too. But everybody's different. Everybody's specific. These communities, some of them are all glitz and glam and have nice chandeliers and all this stuff. And then there's other communities that are smaller and more homey. And people have to, I try to get a feel for what they want and what would be a good fit for them. And we just kind of work through that process together.
Yeah, that's a powerful one. And the reason I say that is I always like to know how people found this place and why they came. So, I'll be at breakfast and we'll have a new person. I'll say, like, how did you know about, how did you get to be here? And so I hear it over and over again is this: my daughter found it online. And I think I come from a digital marketing background, so I'm aware of people can pay to play, meaning they can put their Google listing high up in the list, and you don't necessarily know that they paid to be there versus asking a friend what their experiences was like and getting a referral. So I always in my back of my mind, I knew the strategy of top companies, just trying to get that first click and get a hold of that person. So I just want to tell our viewers, it's not buyer beware, but buyer be educated. The way the internet works is those first 2 or 3 listings are paid, meaning they paid to be there in front of your eyeball. Now, once you go below it, is people have to earn their way there through referrals, through various things. So I want our viewers to know when you're looking for your mom or dad, try to ask people their experience. Avoid, I mean, Google's wonderful, but know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with pay to play versus genuine people that can help you make the best decision. Because, there's a common thing out there. Nothing happens until it's sold. I mean, I believe in that, but here's our new mantra. Nothing happens until somebody is educated. So we want our viewers to get education. So what would you think is like the biggest, when you talk to your first, what's the biggest problem that or question that you hear from people that are contacting you for the first time?
They really don't know what they're looking for. Honestly, they're just like, where do we begin and what do we need? And places are all different too. Some places have, it's a one price for everything. And then there's other places that have levels of care. So people really just don't understand what they're looking for, what they need, what the level of care is, or what even the options are. Sometimes just finding companion care and senior proofing the house, which is one thing I talk about a lot, because most people call me when they start having falls.
Right.
So I say, well, are they using a walker or a cane? And then, let's start thinking about getting rid of some of the obstacles that could be there. Get rid of the rugs, clear out the clutter, make sure there's night lights in rooms, things like that. So there's people call me with those initial questions, but sometimes it may not be assisted living is right for them yet. It's just doing a little bit of homework to find out what's going on and why. And that's why I like to, call this a journey or a process, because they call me and they ask me the question, and it's not always, oh, let's move here right away. It's let's see what's out there as a whole. Looking at, aging in place is not a terrible thing if we can figure that out. Some people aren't ready to leave. So just them calling me and finding out where to begin is really what I'm finding is that big question is, where do I begin?
And we inevitably know it's coming. And for our kids, they're thinking ahead, like, okay, now mom's lived in this house for my mom's 93. And so she's in a house and she has fallen. And so we're constantly checking. Now she doesn't want to move. And it's hard at 93 to say, okay, a community like this makes sense. That wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I can't even get her to use the remote that has pause on it. It's like, Mom, she'll go, hey, can you call me back? The Phillies are on us. Yeah, I'm your favorite son. I'm now behind the Phillies. Come on. But it's the reality of every day that really kind of change is difficult as we get older. But we have to think of it because there's no, we're going to get old. So, and I think this comment on this, our kids are busy and they're trying to figure out, all my friends talk about the enormous amount of time it takes to go through this process. So with that in mind, are you seeing with the people that say, okay, Tara, we want to have you handle our process. Are they now relieved of a lot of time that they would invest in that whole process? Is that would that be one of the things that you do?
Absolutely. I appeal to the sandwich generation. We are the sandwich generation. We have the aging parent and we also have our children and a job. So you're trying to manage everything at the same time. So that's my job, is to take that stress off of you. We have the conversation, we talk about what is needed. And then I do all that legwork behind you. And I have neglected to say it, but we don't charge the family for this.
Oh, wow.
This is, a service that we do for them. We work with our communities that are out there, and
Right.
they're the ones that once they're settled, we just charge them a referral fee for
Right.
working with them. But I
Wow.
have great,
No way.
yeah, there's no charge to the
Yeah.
families. So I have, relationships with communities.
Right.
I know the people that run them. I know the behind the scenes, and that's kind of what this is all about. It's about finding those places that really do what's right for their seniors.
Well, in the kind of, we call that a no-brainer. So, I mean, you're not ever having to make a financial decision, to make a crucial decision of your parents and where they're going to go. So, our viewers, did you understand what Tara just said? That you're not going to be writing a big check. She's going to manage it for you with and it makes sense that, and you won't put people where, I'm guessing, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but your reputation is everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to put a person in a facility that's having problems. You will say, okay, here's what I want you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Is that
Absolutely.
a good assumption?
Absolutely. And I'm also looking for a longevity. Is it a community that will be able to grow with them? You don't want them to ever have to move again if it's not the right fit for them, or they're not going to be able to offer what could potentially be needed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how it works. You don't want them to have to jump around, because it's a big decision to make, and those moves can be challenging. So you want to make the right one the first time.
Right. So give us a fun fact, that like a success story, like somebody that said, Tara, man, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Can you tell us a story without naming any individuals in it, that can give our viewers an idea of that outcome journey?
Well, yeah. I worked with a family, and the mom was in and out of the hospital, wound up in a rehab. We went back and forth with, assisted living and going home with home care. We toured some places. Mom was very reluctant to go to a place, and she actually still hasn't gone to a place. She's home with her care, but that's fine. That's what her choice was. It was not getting her to that assisted living. It was what was the best choice for her at this time. She did great at the rehab, and her son was happy to have her come home with her. And in my eyes, that's a big success story, because she's at home. Now, I'm not sure that that's where she's going to wind up staying, but at least we now have the options, and she knows what's available when it's not the right time.
Right.
So to me, that's the biggest success story, is the fact that it wasn't just that one and done, let's get you to assisted living. It was, we've looked at all the options, and we made an educated decision which works best for them at this time. I'm not saying that assisted living is not going to be where she winds up, but it wasn't the right time for her. And that just shows what I do. I don't always have to put you in that assisted living, even though our name is Assisted Living Locators. It's finding the best senior care option.
Right.
So,
man, that's comforting to know, because I think that every situation is different, and you're assessing all the variables based on your background and knowledge. And would you say that you're looking at it more long term? Because that sounds like it from me.
Yeah, I feel like I look at it a little more holistically. There are people that do this that are more sales oriented, and it might be my demise, but it's just who I am. I've been a nurse, so my heart is in it to just help families find what's best. It doesn't always have to be that, end all assisted living placement. Yeah,
that's so good. And I go back to last week when for the first time, I'd been, well, no, actually, that was the second time. When you first introduced yourself, I literally almost fell out of my chair. I didn't know that there was a service out there. And I'm in the honoring. Bartina's the one that kind of, like, as we looked at like what this was all about, it's honoring senior living. That's kind of like, and then we have a hashtag that she came up with, shine brighter. So we want to shine on you so more of our viewers know that there's options out there, that you don't have to go through the normal journey of frustration of trying to figure this out on your own, that you have somebody that has their best interest in mind. So as we wind down, tell our viewers how they get a hold of you.
Okay, you can go to my website, assistedlivinglocators.com, North Atlanta. You can call me at my number 404-921-0064.
Wow, that's a true golfer that comes to the assistant of his spouse and needing that number, because we don't remember numbers anymore, because we call, it's like in our phone, we hit a little thing. Oh, let me go back. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Say that again.
What, the number?
Oh, no, you gave the number, right?
Yeah.
We're also going to put it in the show notes. So for those that are driving and can't really write down, just look in the show notes. You'll see Tara's information. You'll know how to get a hold of her, and you'll be able to have that conversation with her and see if, you know, what you're doing, if she can solve your problem and help you in that transition that we all have to go through. I mean, that's just fact of life. Until they figure out how to stop aging, which I don't think they figured it out yet. I think we all get older every day. So, okay. So thank you so much, Tara. Now, we always do this because we ask our guests, do they know of anybody that would bring good value to our senior community? Is there anybody you can think of that might be a good guest for our show?
Oh, yeah, I have some friends that work for companion care.
Okay.
A company called Comfort Care.
Okay.
I would love to highlight them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can get with Martina, and we'll get that. We'll see if they would like to be a guest.
Okay.
And then we always give our guests the last insight. So do you have anything that you'd want our viewers to remember you by?
Yeah, I have heard this quote, and it really resonated with me. It said, everybody gets to be young, but not everybody gets to grow old. So if you do have that opportunity to grow old, then embrace it and, you know, enjoy those years, enjoy those golden years, because it doesn't always happen for everyone. So that's my little tidbit.
Wow, you absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I'm not saying it's because you're married to a golfer, because we had some initial golfing conversation before we went live. And the books in the background, let me see, right there. Oh, those books, Greg was like pointing them out. And these are golf books, and there's some other books back there. So we're going to have Greg on our golf side. If we can get his wife to convince him that the golf is the best way to go, not honoring senior living. You're the expert on that, and he's the expert on the golf side. So, okay. Well, thank you so much, Tara. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.